Welcome back, everybody, and today we're taking a look at the second film in the Jackie Chan's Breakout Hits box set from our video. Unlike all the other ones in this release, this is the 4K release. Well, the film is on 4K format, should I say, and it is 1995's Rumble in the Bronx. This is directed by Stanley Tong Gwai-Lai, who also did Police Story 3 Super Cop, and the next film, the fourth film in this box set, Police Story 4 First Strike. So this is an action comedy, and depending on which version you watch, it either is 106 or 90 minutes long. And alongside Jackie Chan himself, also stars Anita Moi Yim-Fong, who was in Drunken Master 2. We also got Francois Yip, and she was in Black Mask. And then finally got Bill Tung Biao, who was in 4 of the Police Story films, as well as Project A Part 2, and the first 2 The Inspector Wears Skirts films. So Kyung comes from Hong Kong to visit New York for his uncle's wedding. His uncle runs a market in the Bronx, and Kyung offers to help out while his uncle is on honeymoon. During his stay in the Bronx, though, Kyung befriends a neighbor kid and beats up some neighborhood thugs who cause problems at the market, such as petty theft and protection racket extortion. One of those petty thugs, however, in the local gang stumbles into a criminal situation way over his head, involving diamonds and the mob and, yeah, a huge amount of money. So now, sure, you could argue that the plot for this is hardly full of surprises. Some of the acting is undoubtedly subpar, and the script is rather basic, but where this excels is with the main man himself, Jackie Chan. Not only is he as likable as ever, but the stunts he does are excellent, even going as far to hone his craft as accidentally breaking his ankle at one point, which is shown in the credits, the behind the scenes credits part of the film, which is usually the case for these Jackie Chan films. They show the stunts on the behind the scenes during the credits at the end, and that is one of those that is shown, and it does look as painful as it is. And and his martial arts skills are also put on full show, which once again provide an example of how incredible he is, all the while the action scenes themselves are entertaining and thrilling in equal measure. With the gold Lamborghini armed with a sword versus a hovercraft jousting match being a particular highlight. I won't go any further just to not spoil it, but yeah, that is a really rather quite a spectacular scene. What is even more incredible, though, is the fact that this is done on a much smaller budget when compared to other action films from the 90s, while still featuring the typical big set pieces. But despite that smaller budget, it is nonetheless a budget that is used in the best way possible. It's not spent on huge stars. You know, Jackie Chan's the only really well-known one in this, I'd say. But that means that not having, you know, a big American star, for instance, to try and bump up the box office, you know, marketing or anything like that, means that, you know, you're able to spend all that money on where the money needs to go, and that is into the action and the set pieces. The film itself is also well paced. The plot, despite its flaws, is still engrossing. It has several funny moments, and the action scenes themselves are well shot, which is always crucial when it comes to a film like this. You can have all of the budget piled into action all you want, and you can have all these big set pieces and such, but if it's not shot well, then quite frankly, you're just wasting your money. So yeah, I don't find it quite as good as Drunken Master 2, even though it probably is a little bit more entertaining on a more you know, action orientated kind of way. It's obviously the action in Drunken Master 2 is excellent, but that's on a much smaller scale. It's a lot more grounded, and whereas this is obviously a little bit more outlandish, but I guess you could say it is more entertaining in that regard as a result. And yeah, we have the new artwork on the normal side as per usual, which has been done by Tom Ralston, and then we have the original artwork on the reverse as well. So yeah, not the first time Jackie Chan was in America, but I believe it was called The Protector. He wasn't particularly fond of doing, so I imagine this is something he looks back on a bit more fondly than that film. And yeah, we have 2 discs for this release as well. So the first one has the Hong Kong cut, which is the longest of the 2 at 106 minutes, and then we have the international cut as well at 90 minutes. So I'm pretty sure I've only ever seen the Hong Kong cut, but I can't entirely remember, unfortunately. But regardless, on the Hong Kong cut disc, you have the uncut version of that film in 4K 2160p Ultra HD in Dolby Vision HDR10 compatible. And for that disc, you have the original lossless Cantonese / English sync sound stereo and the English export dub mono. You've also got optional English subtitles and subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. And on top of that, you got brand new commentary by martial arts cinema experts Frank Yang and FJ DeSanto. Breakout Part 2, a new featurette in which stuntman Mars, stuntwoman Kathy Hubble, martial arts cinema expert Ricky Baker, and critics David West and James Mudge look back at the film. Then you got Rumble Recollections, or Recollections even, an expanded interview with Hubble, alternate footage, Texas outtakes, and image gallery. Then on the second disc, you got the original English dubbed lossless stereo and DTS HD MA 5.1 surround audio, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, an electronic press kit interview with Jackie Chan, 2 scenes added for the network TV version, US trailer, and TV spot. So, yeah, a decent amount of extras throughout there. And in terms of the film itself, in terms of the restoration work, we have to look at our handy book here. Right, so yeah, it talks about the versions as well, obviously, which is what we'll talk about first, and then we'll talk about the restoration themselves. So it says here, Jackie Chan's worldwide commercial breakthrough is presented here in 2 versions. The original Hong Kong cut produced by Golden Harvest in 1995, and the shorter international cut prepared by American distributor New Line Cinema and released around the world a year later. So the Hong Kong cut comes with the original sync sound stereo audio, which features a mix of Cantonese and English dialogue, all being spoken by the original actors. However, this box set also marks the first home video release of a rare English mono export dub, in which all the Cantonese dialogue is dubbed into English. This track does not feature Jackie Chan's voice. However, Jackie did dub his own voice for New Line's international cut, which, in addition to new dubbing entirely in English, also featured a new score by J. Peter Robinson and removed 22 minutes of footage, while adding in 4 instances of brief footage unused in the Hong Kong cut. While the Hong Kong cut is the more authentic version of the film for fans, many still express a strong nostalgia for the additional polish and tighter pacing of the international cut. So I've never seen that version. I imagine most of the action is still in that. It's probably just cut out some of the probably the more comedic moments and the more character parts as well. But I still really like the Hong Kong cut. The film overall still gets a 4 out of 5. Yes, that's less than what I've given Drunken Master 2, but it is still overall a really good effort. And the film itself, in terms of the Hong Kong cut, is presented in its original aspect ratio of 2:39:1. With Cantonese stereo English mono audio, the international cut is presented in its original 2:39:1 aspect ratio as well, with the stereo and 5.1 English audio options. And the burnt-in subtitles are presented as per the original theatrical release. So, yeah, if you don't like burnt-in subtitles, then fortunately you are going to have to deal with that for that version. But still, overall, a really solid film and another worthwhile entry into Jackie Chan's filmography, quite frankly. Not quite the classic of Drunken Master 2, but there's still several action scenes here that are highly memorable, particularly the hovercraft scene. And yeah, it still has plenty of funny moments, and it's just generally an entertaining film, even if it's not quite as, I'd say, serious in terms of the action as Drunken Master 2, which I think takes its action that little bit more seriously, which is obviously helped by the fact it's more grounded. You know, there's no explosions or shootouts or anything like that, which is not the case for this one, where there's plenty of that kind of thing going on. But yeah, they still ultimately have in common the comedy aspect, which works in both films, and yeah, that just makes this an entertaining film overall. And yeah, comedy and action is something that Jackie Chan obviously has done before this film, and it's certainly something he'd go on to do in multiple other films as well. So yeah, it's a worthwhile entry, one that I'd highly recommend seeking out if you haven't already. But yeah, it's not been easily available to see this in the past, I've found. So yeah, outside of that HMV release that we looked at a few years back, that was the first instance of that being available on Blu-ray, I believe, in the UK. But now we have it on 4K, where it's looking better. You've got multiple options to choose from, and yeah, just more ways of experiencing the entertainment that this has on to offer. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen Rumble in the Bronx before, let's hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.